Alright guys, so Titan FC 68 in the main event, we have Kyle Nobley and Sean Asher. This fight for the vacant heavyweight belt. In the co-main event, we have Huáscar Cruz and Victor Diaz. For the flyweight belt, we have Ryan Coos and Damian Addy in a bantamweight fight. We have Shane O'Shea and Marcus Perez in a middleweight fight. That should be a really good fight right there. We have Gustavo Villamil, an amazing grappling fighter, taking on mainly a striker fighter, and Eastman in a flyweight fight. And then we have Richie Lewis and Danny Vega in the first fight on the main card. That fight is a lightweight fight. We're not going to look at the fights that are on the prelims for Titan FC 68. Only the fights that are on the main card. So we have 6 fights on the main card for Titan FC 68. And we're going to get it started with the first fight on the main card in Richie Lewis and Danny Vega. I'm going to say it right now. Domination. Richie Lewis, this man is a lightweight fighter. 0 wins, 0 losses. As a professional fighter, 0 wins, 0 losses. As an amateur fighter, he has no professional wins, no professional losses. Nothing like that. He's 26 and a half years old. But the thing is, even though he does not have any professional MMA fights, this man's wrestling skills are just so good, and I know he's been training his ground and pound. I know he's been training some of those submissions, and I know if he gets the fight to the ground, which most likely he's gonna, he has amazing wrestling. It's a matter of when he gets the fight to the ground. When he does get the fight to the ground on Danny Vega, gets on top of him, I think he's either gonna just start raining down punches on Danny Vega, or he's gonna rain down punches, then sinking a rear naked, sinking an armbar, something like that. But overall, I don't really think Danny Vega has much of a chance against an absolute beast like Richie Lewis. I mean, the man's an absolute beast. He's an amazing wrestler. His TKO skills, his ground and pound, his submission skills have been developing in the past couple of years. That he's been off from wrestling and switching over to MMA. So I'm 100% going with Richie Lewis to win the fight. Danny Vega, 1 win, 2 losses. Been finished twice in his career by submission and TKO. I don't really think he has much of a chance in this fight with an absolute beast and Richie Lewis. So I'm 100% going with Richie Lewis to win the fight by first or second round of finish. Either by TKO or submission. Either way, we'll see what happens in the fight. Should be a very good first fight on the main card for Titan FC 68. And then, as I said before, we have a grappler in Gustavo Villamil. And then Jason Eastman, who is more of a striker. Let's take a look at Jason Eastman. 5 wins and 3 losses. First round knockout, second round knockout, first round knockout. But lost 1 fight in a really close fight by split decision. And then got 1 win by split decision. Lost 1 by decision. And then got a first round guillotine choke submission. So most of his wins are coming by knockout. So 3 knockout wins, 1 submission win, and 1 decision win. As an amateur, 4 submission wins, 4 decision wins, and 2 knockout wins. So he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. Has some pretty good striking. And has a pretty good takedown defense and some pretty good submission skills. But when you're facing a guy like Gustavo Villamil, who has 3 submissions in his 3 professional MMA fights, all coming by rear naked submission, he gets a takedown so easily. He catches you so off guard, gets a fight to the ground. And he just sinks in that rear naked choke submission so easily, and he can grab your back so easily. 3 wins, 0 losses. Every single one of these coming by rear naked choke submission in the first and second round. He's the 123rd best flyweight fighter in the world. As an amateur fighter, didn't really do too good. But that was back in 2017. He took 3 years off from MMA and then came back in 2020 and looked absolutely amazing. So I'm kind of with all these other people that are predicting this fight. I'm 100% going with Gustavo Villamil to win the fight by rear naked choke submission in the first or second round. Look at this. Out of 102 different votes, 95%, I'm going with Villamil to win the fight. I believe the betting odds have Villamil as like a 3-1 favorite. In my opinion, he's like a 5-1 favorite. He's an absolute beast. He's definitely going to get a submission in the first or second round. And then we have Shane O'Shea and Marcus Perez. Let's take a look at Shane O'Shea real quick. 27 and almost 28 years old. Let's see, 4 wins and only 1 loss. That 1 loss coming by split decision in a really close fight to Miles Amos. He has a second round submission win, a first round knockout win, a second round submission win, and a first round knockout win. Every single one of this man's wins is coming by finish. Even as an amateur, almost every single one of his amateur wins are coming by finish, except for this 1 win right here. So third round submission, first round knockout, second round knockout again, third round knockout, and I don't know how that's possible, but 1 second into the third round, third round knockout, decision win, and second round submission. So he's a very legit fighter. He has 2 knockout wins, 2 submission wins. As an amateur, has 5 knockout wins, 2 submission wins, and 1 decision win. But then we have Marcus Perez. He is on a 3-fight losing streak. inside of the UFC against Dolce Lungiambola, Driscoll Duplessis, and then Wellington Turman. He has wins over Anthony Hernandez, who was undefeated at the time, James Bogdanovic by first round submission. He lost to Andrew Sanchez and Eric Anders, but did fight inside the LFA for one fight back in 2017, and he ended up fighting Ian Heinisch. Guys, if you guys do not know who Ian Heinisch is, 14 wins and 4 losses, was recently in a co-main event on a pay-per-view inside the UFC. Is currently ranked as the 16th best middleweight fighter in the world. And Marcus Perez ended up beating him. Let's see how he beat him in that fight by first round arm triangle choke submission. Before that was an undefeated fighter, had 10 wins and 0 losses. Fought in the Ultimate Fighter. He has 3 knockout wins, 6 submission wins, and 3 decision wins. I mean, this man has experience inside of the UFC, inside of the LFA, becoming a middleweight LFA champion. I think he's gonna become a Titan FC middleweight champion as well. I think he's a very good fighter outside of the UFC. He was just inside the UFC, had a pretty good record inside the UFC. So I think Marcus Perez has a really good grappling. Shane O'Shea has pretty good striking and pretty good grappling. Not as good as Marcus Perez. Getting 2 submission wins over guys like Ian Heinisch, Anthony Hernandez, and James Bogdanovic. I mean, I think he's going to get a submission in the fight. But who knows? Shane O'Shea could go out there and get a knockout in the fight. On the Tablogy predictions, 12% going for O'Shea to win the fight. I think this one is going to be a submission for Marcus Perez in the fight, but we'll see what happens in this one. I'm going for a first or second round submission win for Marcus Perez in the fight. And then we go to the third to last fight on the fight card in Ryan Coos and Damian Addy. I'm going to tell you right now, Ryan Coos, he's a very good fighter, but Damian Addy, I mean, look at this amateur career, third round submission win, lost only 1 fight as an amateur to Anthony Sager by first round submission, decision win as a pro, 1 decision win. I definitely don't think, if he's going to win the fight, I don't think it's going to be by finish. It's not going to be by submission, it's not going to be by knockout. He doesn't really go out there and try to get the finish in most of his fights. He goes out there and tries to win the rounds. He doesn't go out there trying to finish the fight or do anything like that. He's just trying to win the fight. He's not really a finisher. And then we have Ryan Coos, 26 wins, or 26 years old, 2 wins and 0 losses, second round knockout win, first round knockout win. So as a professional MMA fighter, he's actually going out there and trying to finish his fights. As an amateur MMA fighter, only 3 losses by third round knockout. I'm not really sure how he lost these ones, but most of his amateur wins coming by decision or third and second round knockout. I think this one is going to stay on the feet. I think both fighters have pretty good striking skills. I think it's going to be a knockout either way. If Damian Addy wins the fight, it's going to be by knockout. And then if Ryan Coos wins the fight, I think it's going to be by knockout. I think Ryan Coos is going to land a big right hand, put Damian Addy down, start ground and pounding for about 30 seconds. And then I think he's going to land a big elbow on the ground. He a TKO victory in the second round. That is my prediction for the third to last fight for Titan FC 68. I have Ryan Coos winning that fight by second round TKO due to a massive elbow after a right hand knocking him down. So far for Titan FC 68, I have Ryan Coos winning his fight. I have Marcus Perez winning his fight. I have Gustavo Villamil winning his fight. And I have Richie Lewis winning his fight. Those are the first 4 fights on the main card of Titan FC 68. Alright guys, so I'm not too sure what happened here, but I was doing the prediction. I did the full card prediction. I did Wazir Cruz, Victor Diaz, and Sean Asher. The Kyle Nobley, the main and co-main event. But for some reason, I do not know why, I was just checking the footage, trying to edit the video a little bit, and was about to post the video. What I noticed, there's literally no co-main event and no main event. It literally cut out right before the co and main event. Not really sure what happened there, but I guess I have to redo the co and main event. So the co and main event for the Titan FC Flyweight Championship, Wazgar Cruz and Victor Diaz. I'm going to say right now, striker and grappler. Okay submission skills. He's been submitted a lot in his career. 11 wins and 6 losses. Third knockout win, decision win. Decision win right here. Knockout win, decision win, submission win. He has a lot of submission wins and a lot of knockout wins on his record. 4 knockout wins, 4 submission wins, and 3 decision wins. Has been submitted quite a lot in his career so far. 4 submission losses, 1 knockout loss, and 1 decision loss. That right there kind of concerns me. Because if he's losing 4 times by submission in his professional MMA career, And you got a guy like Victor Diaz, 8 wins and 2 losses, who goes out there every single time and goes for that submission. 3 submission wins, 3 decision wins, 1 DQ win. Not really sure what happened there. Then 1 knockout win. His only 2 losses coming by decision. If you can see right here, 2 losses by decision. His amateur career, first round submission, and second round rear next to submission. So he's definitely gonna be going out there and trying to get the submission in the fight. Wesley Cruz is gonna be trying to keep the fight on the feet, maybe possibly get a knockout or TKO on Victor Diaz, but most likely, if he's gonna win the fight, it's gonna be by decision. I think the main way I see Victor Diaz winning the fight is to just take the fight to the ground. Go for submission after submission after submission after submission. Ground and pound, ground and pound, ground and pound. Try to get a lot of control of him on the ground. And just try to overwhelm Wesley Cruz with punches. Make him give up your back. And then latch in a nice rear naked submission. That is the main way I see Victor Diaz finishing the fight, but who knows, this fight could go all the way. One of these two guys could win the fight by unanimous decision. But Wesley Cruz is 37 years old, guys. 5'4" inches tall, has a reach of 68 inches. Victor Diaz much younger, in the prime of his MMA career at 30 years old. 5'6" inches tall, so he has the height advantage. Not really sure if he has a reach advantage, but he does have that age advantage, as Wesley Cruz is 37 years old. He definitely has the grappling advantage, maybe not the striking advantage, because Wesley Cruz's striking is probably going to be a little bit better than Victor Diaz in the fight. So if Wesley Cruz can keep the fight on the feet, I'll say 100% he's going to win the fight by KO or TKO in the first or second round, or the fight will go all the way and he's going to win the fight by unanimous decision. But I don't think he's going to defend those takedowns from Victor Diaz in the fight. I think he's going to get those takedowns, get the fight to the ground, go for ground and pound, getting a lot of control time, and go for submission after submission after submission. Do I think he's going to get a TKO? Do I think he's going to get a submission in the fight? It is very possible. I think the chances we see a finish from either Wesley Cruz or Victor Diaz in the fight are maybe 25 to 33%. Probably a 1 out of 3 chance that we see a finish from either fight in the fight. But I think the fight is going to go all the way. And I think Victor Diaz is going to get like 4 or 5 takedowns on Wesley Cruz in the fight and dominate the fight on the ground. Then overall win the fight by 30-27 unanimous decision, becoming the new Titan FC flyweight champion. And then we have the main event, Kyle Nobley, 11 wins and 2 losses. He is in the prime of his MMA career, at 31 years old. And then we have Sean Asher, 13 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. He's about the age of Daniel Cormier at 41 years old, basically 41 and a half years old, 6 foot tall, has a reach of 73 inches. Kyle Nobley, 6 foot 2 inches tall, so a height advantage there for Kyle Nobley in the fight, and then has a reach of 76 and a half inches. So he has the age advantage, he has the height advantage, and he has the reach advantage. And guess what, guys? He has 1 more advantage in the fight. He has the size advantage. He goes out there every single time right next to the limit of 265 pounds. His last fight, he went out at 264 and a half pounds, so right near that limit of 165 pounds. Sean Asher, in his last fight, he literally went out there in 243 and 1/2 pounds. So he's going to be the much smaller fighter in terms of weight, the much smaller fighter in terms of height, the much smaller fighter in terms of reach, the much older fighters. So that's so many advantages already for Kyle Nobley. These television predictions out of 103 different votes, 90% going for Nobley to win the fight, mainly by decision, and then a lot of people have him win the fight, like KO or TKO, and then pretty much everyone going for Asher to win the fight, or saying he's going to win the fight, like KO or TKO. If you look at Sean Asher, 13 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, 7 knockout wins, 2 submission wins, and 4 decision wins. So he's got a lot of power in his hands. Out of his 3 losses, 3 losses all coming by submission. And then we go to his opponent, Kyle Nobley, 11 wins and only 2 losses. So he has 6 submission wins, 2 knockout wins, and 3 decision wins. Started with a first round submission, a first round TKO, a first round knockout win, a first round knee bar submission win, absolutely insane. First round knockout, second round guillotine, first round knockout win, a decision win. Got a main event fight inside of the LFA. Right here, it was a main event fight inside of the LFA. He was an undefeated fighter at the time, and ended up winning the fight by first round guillotine choke submission. And then after that, I don't know why he left the LFA. After a main event fight right there. But then he fought Jamal Pogues and lost the fight by unanimous decision, and then lost his next fight to Ali Khan Bakayev by unanimous decision. If you guys do not know who Jamal Pogues is, he's currently inside of the LFA right now. He was recently in a main event fight inside of the LFA, and then his other fight that he ended up losing to Ali Khan Bakayev This dude is also a very, very good fighter. His only 2 professional losses coming to Ruslan Kaskanov and Volkan Uzdemir, who's inside the UFC right now. So those are his only 2 professional MMA losses. But after those 2 losses, he got a decision win over Bubba Grant and then a decision win over Jack May. I think he definitely has the grappling advantage, the wrestling advantage, the striking advantage. Maybe it will go to Kyle Nobley in the later rounds, in the first and second round. Maybe I'll give the striking advantage to Sean Asher because he has so much gosh dang power in his hands. But overall, Kyle Nobley, in my opinion, has the striking advantage. He has the reach advantage. He has the height advantage. He has the size advantage. He has the age advantage. He has the grappling advantage. I mean, come on, dude. He has so many different advantages in the fight. I don't know how I'm going to say that Sean Asher is going to win the fight. When you got a guy like Kyle Nobley, who, in my opinion, is going to dominate the fight wherever the fight goes. But who knows, Sean Asher, it only takes 1 shot to knock out Kyle Nobley in the fight. But we'll see what happens here. In the main event, I have Kyle Nobley winning the fight by 30-27 unanimous decision. So those are my predictions for Titan FC 68. I have Kyle Nobley winning his fight in the main event, becoming the new Titan FC heavyweight champion. I have Victor Diaz winning his fight in the co-main event, becoming the new Titan FC flyweight champion. I have Ryan Coos winning his fight in the bantamweight fight. I have Marcus Perez winning his fight in the middleweight fight. I have Gustavo Villamil winning his fight in the flyweight fight. And then I have an absolute beast in Richie Lewis winning his fight in the lightweight fight, in the first fight on the main card of Titan FC 68. So yeah, those are my predictions for Titan FC 68. If you like those predictions or disagree with any of those predictions, put your predictions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think is going to happen in this Titan FC 68 fight card. A lot of really good fights, so we could see a lot of finishes on the fight card. A lot of them right here can end in finish, so it should be a very exciting fight card for Titan FC 68. But that is it for the video. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. But yeah, I'm out of here. Let's go.